What's going on, everyone? This is Damien from Lore Seekers, and today I have some new meta results for you. Yes, there was a tournament at Battle Bear in Germany, and 44 players played. It was the first new set big tournament, and we have all of the deck lists here. I'm going to link to the store and all of the deck lists in comments, because new account on YouTube, a bit slow to get the comment section going. Anyway, I'm just rambling now. Let's check out the first top 8 deck lists from the newest meta. Roll the video. Here we are. Here are the results. So, huge shout out to Battle Bear. You can find the link to their website in the comments, and congratulations to everyone who made it into the top 8. 44 players. First place, Ember, Emerald, Sing Together. Sing Together got a couple of new buffs, so you can see one of them on the chart. Then we have the most dominant deck in the top 8, which is Steelsong. So second, third and fifth place went to Steelsong. A very, very strong showing for the start of the newest meta. Fourth place, Cogsworth and Friends. Then we have sixth place was again Ember, Emerald, Sing Together. So just 2 places, but one of them won. In the second is 6. So that's very, very good. And now we have Muse's song on 7th place, which is like, okay. I mean, I like the combination. I love the green-blue combinations in any card game. So I'm excited to check that one out. And 8th place, Ruby Amethyst Bounce. And it's playing the elephant. So yeah, congratulations to all of the players. Let's check out the decks. Okay, everyone, I am here with inkdex.com, an amazing place for checking out all of the meta decks. Huge shout out to them. Also, link in the description below. Let's check out the top 8. So, starting with the winning Ember Emerald list by Terra. Let's see what new cards are being played here. So, going through it, we have 2 copies of Prince Naveen, the ukulele player. I think this is one of the cards that everyone lost their minds on. This card is so strong in its effect. 4 cost, but uninkable. Singer 6. The ability is, it's beautiful, no? When you play this character, you may play a song with cost 6 or less for free. That is insanely strong. Why? Because you're technically singing on the same turn that you play him. And then we have Muses, 3 copies of Crickety, 2 copies of Kida. Would you prefer maybe if I just show it like this? So, okay, going through the rest, we also have 1 new card here. And that is You're Welcome. 3 copies of You're Welcome, which is such an insanely strong removal, because you just shuffle. You shuffle a character, you shuffle a location, or you shuffle an item card. So there we go. There we go. So shuffle chosen character, item, or location into the player's deck, and then you draw 2. It can be removal for your opponent's things. It can also be a way for you to draw extra. Like if you have a completely dead hand and this is your top deck, there are scenarios where you can just shuffle one of your things and then draw 2. So and the only action is You Have Forgotten Me. Each opponent chooses and discards 2 cards. So some light hand destruction, and of course for extra draw, you're also running 4 copies of Diablo Devoted Herald. Then we have Pavel's Steel Ember. So 4 copies of Whole New World. Let's go through the new cards. Daisy Duck. 4 copies of Daisy Duck. This card is insane. Like, this is one of the best aggro cards in the entire game. Probably the best one at the moment. 1 cost, uninkable. 1/4, quests for 2. If you're coming in from Magic, you might draw parallels with Goblin Guide, because the ability is when this character quests, each opponent reveals the top card of their deck. If it's a character, they draw it. Otherwise, they put it to the bottom of the deck. Giving your opponent a slight advantage with the character, that's like, okay, sure. But yeah, if you play against Emerald Steel, for example, and you just happen to hit the mirror, which now goes to the bottom deck, that's very strong. And 4 willpower, 4 willpower means that you will be questing with this wing a couple of times before it gets removed. It's super hard to remove 4 willpower from a 1-drop that early on in the game. And then we have the rest of our high questing, high lore cards. We have like Mr. Smee here. We have Piglet, which just very, very quickly starts questing for free. So just aggroing your opponent. You're rushing, you're getting a whole bunch of lore. We have our singers here in 4 copies of Ursula, 4 copies of Ariel. Let me know for future videos, do you prefer seeing decks like this, or would you rather see them in this form? Or maybe we should make one of our own. Let me know, it's just the first one, I'm still learning. So, then we have Rapunzel. Rapunzel at 4 copies, exceptionally strong draw engine. Basically, when you play her, you remove up to 3 damage from one of your characters and you draw a card for each 1 damage removed. Some of your characters have a lot of willpower, like Lawrence, for example, like Daisy, so you can draw a couple of cards with Rapunzel, plus she quests for 2. And then we have, let's see, do we have anything else that is completely new? No. And then we of course have A Whole New World, which is an absurdly strong card. Each player discards their hand and draws 7. Yeah, you have a lot of low cost cards here. You can just go to almost no cards in hand, then sing A Whole New World and draw an entirely new hand while messing up your opponent's game plan. Then we have Steelsong on the 3rd place. Going through this one, it's a very similar list. First thing that I notice is 4 copies of Robin Hood in this one. Pete, 3 copies of Pete. Let me just make sure, did this... Okay, this list didn't run Pete. This one did. Pete is... Pete is exceptionally strong. I'm 900% certain that this is the best card in the new set. Pete is amazing. So blow the whistle. When you play him, opponent can't play actions, which include songs, until the start of your next turn. Against some decks, this just shuts down everything. But you need to know how to time Pete. I think there's going to be a high skill factor in the upcoming metagame when it comes to making a decision on which turn you play Pete and what are you looking to stop with it. It's going to take like some board analysis, matchup knowledge, and things like that. I think that's why the card is okay, because it rewards matchup knowledge. Then we have Rapunzel, we have Champion of Sherwood. So this deck runs the Shift Robin Hood, so 1 cost, and the Champion of Sherwood, which is also phenomenal. It gives you an alternative way to gain lore while removing cards. It also draws you a card when he gets banished. Insane card. Yeah, that's why it's like $41. And then we have... we also have 2 copies of Cinderella here. And the last list also ran 4 copies of Queen. And then for the songs, all standard, and 4 copies of Whole New World. Just mostly checking for new cards. Then we have Cogsworth and Friends, still Sapphire. Do we have anything new here? I'm sorry that I'm so focusing on new stuff. I think this is the most interesting one to see because we just got a new set. So, we have the Chicha, Dedicated Mother, at 4 copies, uninkable 2 cost, quests for 1. On the way is the ability. During your turn, when you put a card into your inkwell, if it's the second card you've put into your inkwell this turn, you draw. That's great, because you are ramping. So when you manage to ramp on a turn, so you ink 1 at the start of the turn, you use, for example, Fishbone Quill to ink another card, and because you're putting a card from your hand into the inkwell, Chicha triggers. draws you a card, make sure that you don't lose on hand size. Then we have, the standard ramp package here. We also have, of course, Cogsworth. Your other characters gain resist 1. He has ward. Amazing card. 3 copies of Simba. I have very high hopes for Simba. I've also included it in my Emerald Seal list. When you play him, you just banish an item or location. Shift 4, but most of the time you just basics and you play him. But it is on play, remove something. On play effects are the best effects because you get them instantly. So if you're playing, let's say, again against Emerald Steel, which is running the mirror, for example, you can just basics, play Simba, get rid of it instantly. Tinkerbell, Hades, and of course Tamatoa. Do we have anything new here? No. Okay. Then we are moving to another Ember Steel list. So what do we have here? Also running the Robin Hood package. That's great. 3 copies of Pete. Then we have one Prince Naveen. So, okay, this is the first time that we're seeing him in this list. Song costs 6 or less for free, is a whole new world. So you can play... you can play a whole new world, and when it goes, when you play this character, you may play a song with. No, I'm sorry, I've read wrong. Basically, you play a whole new world 1 turn earlier. You play him as a 4 cost, and then you play a song, which is a whole new world for free. No need to sing it. No need to have established singers. However, the card is not as included as you might think. I'm just saying this as from a perspective that this was probably the most talked about card from the new set. It's in every best cards list that you can find on YouTube. So I would assume that hey, there's gonna be more copies of it, right? But no, it's just 2 copies, 1 copy. The fact that he's uninkable does play a role in it. The fact that if your hand is dead, if you have no cards and this is the top deck, it doesn't do anything. So those might be the limiting factors. And then we just have the rest, right? What is cool is 2 copies of Sleepy Flute. You exert it. If you play the song, you gain 1 lore. I like it. It's a cute item card. I absolutely like it. Then moving on to Ember Emerald. Let's check out this. So, 1 copy of Clarabelle. Let's check out this list. When you play this character, you may pay 2 to banish a chosen item. So, once again, on play, item removal. Of course, Diablo, Kid Ice here. Then we have, I love this Prince John so much. Ursula, Deceiver of All. Probably one of my favorite cards ever made. Lets you sing twice, basically, if you sing with her. Muses, Ursula, Eric's Bride, okay. Protector of Atlantis, sure. And 1 Lucifer. So, nothing new outside of Clarabelle, right? Yeah, Clarabelle is the only new character that's being played here. Okay. Then we have Hidden Co at 2 copies. And moving to the rest, 3 copies of You're Welcome, and oh, okay, this runs semi-hand destruction. I'm literally going through the list in the order that I'm showing you. So 3 copies of You're Welcome, phenomenal card. Then we have 1 Prince John's Mirror. I love hand destruction, and 2 copies of You Have Forgotten Me. So, okay, you play Prince John. Now it makes more sense. You play Prince John's Mirror. You take the hand down to 3 cards. You have Ursula, which can remove a song that could potentially get rid of the mirror. You have your Prince John, who would trigger when your opponent discards. So, yeah, now it makes a lot more sense. You have Lucifer here. Anyway, Sudden Chill at 4 copies. So, hand destruction. Ember Emerald. That's awesome. Then we have the muses, right? Sapphire Emerald. Let's take a look at it. Let's dig for new cards. One jump ahead, strike a good match. 4 copies of You're Welcome. Of course, like this card is gonna be a forever staple. This card is insanely good, and it's dirt cheap. It's 21 cents. If you don't have it, grab your 4 copies now. Then we have, what else do we have from new cards? We have Tipo. When you play this character, you may put a card from your hand into your inkwell, face down, and exert it. So I think this one is actually okay. I saw some discussion which was revolving around, okay, is this card good? Because when you play it, you minus a card in hand. That's the big thing. Like, you minus a card in hand in order to ramp. I think it's okay. I'm not a huge fan of going down in hand. I'm a hand destruction player. That's, that's a trained mindset of like, yeah, I want to have cards in hand. I don't want them gone. But yeah, a strong card, definitely. Then what else do we have? So 4 copies of Bell. While you have 10 or more cards in your inkwell, this character gains +4. It's a 4-cost inkable, which quests for 5. Yeah, this card is amazing. During your turn, you may put an additional card from your hand into your inkwell, face down. I think Chicha would have been great here, because you could also draw more, because you're using like Tipo to add the second card. You're using 1 jump ahead. You have Bell. I think it could be cool. You of course have 4 copies of Muses to help you get rid of things. They just bounce stuff back to hand. They can bounce characters back to your hand if you wish to do so. Then you have your high end, which is too crickety. Mother Gothel makes an appearance. Okay, 6 cost, shift 4, quest for 2, 4, 6. When you play this character, each opponent chooses one of their characters and returns them to their player's hand. So, downside is you bounce to hand, which means that all of the effects which trigger on play can be played again. However, it's, you use this situationally, basically. So, it's inkable. It quests a lot, it is expensive, but of course you're not going to bounce something that gives your opponent a giant boost. You're not going to play it and be like, hey opponent, like, get your big on play turn again. So I like it. 4 copies of Clarabelle. At the end of your turn, if chosen opponent has more cards in their hand than you may draw until you have the same number. Also great. Now Tipo makes a bit more sense because, yeah, you can go down in hand, but you can use Clarabelle, you can get your hand back up. And 2 copies of Tamatoa. And the actions are Remember Who You Are, just to help you replenish your hand size. And last but not the least, Ember Steel Bounce. So, I think there's only 1 card from the newest set, and that is, no, there are more. Okay, that's Pete, 4 copies of Pete. If you play Steel, you just run Pete, and that's it. It's a staple in the color. And only 1 copy of Madam Mim Elephant. Just 1 copy. I think it is okay at 1. You have your cheaper plays here. Yes, she's big, but she's also removable. And yeah, I think 1 is okay. Like, I don't have much more to say. Maybe 2. But the rest is just the Amethyst Steel Bounce deck. And we have like you have your goats, you have your rabbits. Actions is Baboon. Songs are Friends on the Other Side to help you replenish your hand a bit. Along came Zeus to help you remove characters and or locations. And from locations, of course, you have the library. When a character here is banished, you may draw a card. And, of course, 3 copies of the Queen's Castle. And that's it. Those were the deck lists. That's it for the video. Let me know in the comments below. What do you think of the breakdown? Is there anything here that surprises you? Like, are there some decks missing that you've expected to see in the top 8? So yeah, it's still the first tournament. The meta is extremely fresh. It's still the first tournament, but we are already seeing a couple of cards from the newest set see play. So let me know in the comments. I read all of your comments. I try to respond to everything. I love our little community. And while you're here, please share the video. It helps out other players, and hit those like and subscribe buttons, help us grow, and stay tuned for more videos such as this one. This has been Damien from the Lore Seekers, and I'll see all of you in the next video.